Good morning, everybody. I'm hoping that we're live.
We sure are.
Okay. Well, again, good morning, everybody. On behalf of California State Parks, I want to welcome you to one of your 280 California State Parks. We are here at Hearst Castle, and my name is Laura. I'm a tour guide here at Hearst Castle, and I want to give out a special welcome this morning to our virtual junior rangers, because we're doing a special Castle to Coast broadcast today called Parks PE. We've been doing this on Thursdays for the last 4 Thursdays. Now, we'll be spending about 20 minutes up here at the castle talking about the man who built this castle, William Randolph Hearst. And then we'll spend the other 20 minutes with our friend Mariana at Morro Bay State Beach Campgrounds for the last 20 minutes. She's a park interpretive specialist. Now, before we get started, we need to talk a little bit about the COVID pandemic. As you can see, I'm pulling my mask up over my nose because I want to ensure safety. And that's our #1 priority for you folks today. So you want to make sure that you keep your face mask on and maintain a good 6 feet or so social distance or physical distance if there are other people around and you're exercising with them. Now, because we're outside at Hearst Castle here and we're closed to the public, and in accordance with California state guidelines, we can go ahead and remove our masks so long as we are maintaining a good social distance. So my cameraman, Anthony, he's got a mask on and he's maintaining a good social distance from me. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove my mask. And I just wanna make sure that when we're done with our exercises today with myself and Mariana, we go ahead and put those face masks back on to ensure your safety, okay? All right. Now, speaking of safety, you want to go ahead today, because we're going to do about 7 or so exercises, that you go ahead and grab yourself a little water bottle, hydration station, if you will, your own personal hydration station. I'm going to keep it here next to me as we exercise today. And if you're feeling a little bit lightheaded or a little winded from the exercises today, make sure you go ahead and take a little breather. So you might want to bring a chair next to you, as well as maybe a little mat or a rug, because some of the exercises we're doing today will be on the ground. Okay, now we had a nice opening shot here today of what is called Casa del Sol. And you're looking at the side of Casa del Sol. This is one of 3 cottages that Mr. Hearst built to frame around his big castle. Now, most of us think about Hearst Castle as being one architectural structure, but it's actually several different structures. And this is one of 3 cottages that Mr. Hearst and his chief architect, Julia Morgan, finished in 1924, commencing building in the year 1920. Now, William Randolph Hearst was a famous Californian. He was a very wealthy Californian, and that's why he decided to build up here. This was his childhood dream come true. And he built up here for 28 years, from 1919 to 1947, with that chief architect I mentioned a bit ago. And we're going to go ahead and mimic some of the moves that we see in some of the art objects that he would collect throughout his lifetime that he would go ahead and place here up at the San Simeon property. Now, just to give you an idea about who Mr. Hearst was, if you know who Mark Zuckerberg is, of course, he's CEO of Facebook. That's the kind of iconic status William Randolph Hearst had. He was a newspaper publisher, but he had radio stations, magazines, and he even had theatrical production companies. So he was a multimedia platform kind of fellow, and he loved artwork. And he decided when Casa del Sol, the House of the Sun, was going to be finished, he wanted to embed some reliefs in here. And one of these reliefs that you see here, this relief here is called Girl with a Bird. And that's going to be the basis of our first exercise. I want you to imagine this little bird going ahead and bending over or hinging at the lower half of its body and trying to get some food out of that young girl's hand. So that'll be our first warm up, because we want to warm up, getting some blood flow through the blood vessels and of course through the heart. Now I'm going to show you my profile here. I call this the bird dipper. It's actually a hip hinge, but it looks like a bird dipping to get some food or into a bird bath. So you want to maintain a stance of about, hip width to shoulder width stance, good platform shoes, not platform, but rather have your shoes on a platform, nice and flat. Shoulders, you want to bring back and up. And you want to maintain a real nice tummy and a nice tush, just like we've been doing for the last several weeks with our exercises. We'll put our hands to our side, our knees are straight, they're not locked, but they're straight, and we just simply hinge at our hips at about a 90-degree angle and then come on back up. Now, again, when we hinge at the hip, I want you to keep nice tight tummy, nice tight tush. And as you come back up, you don't want to extend the back all the way or you can hurt your back. Just simply come up and down. Again, like a bird, dipping into a bird bath, or if you will, grabbing some food, like you see with that young Art Deco statue there of the young girl with the bird. Again, we're gonna do about 10 to 15 of these. Now, those of you that can't quite do this little bird dipper, come down to about 45-degree angle instead. Even bend your knees a bit, because some of us, again, we might not necessarily be as conditioned, so you'll want to go ahead and do that. Those of you that are more conditioned, you want a little bit more challenge, put your arms out in front as you do these. And you're going to exhale as you come down with the hinge, inhale as you come up. Let's do 3 more of those and 2 more. Good, and 1 more. Great. All right. So got a little bit of blood flow there. We're going to get even some more blood flow as our cameraman here brings us over to some of Mr. Hearst's cast concrete statues that he had, also built specifically at the side of Casa del Sol. Mr. Hearst loved lions, and in fact, he even had a zoo here. You might recall over the last couple of weeks between Andrew and myself, we've talked about the zoo. He had lions in that zoo. And lions like to go on all fours, as you can see, and that's what we're going to do with regards to our next exercise. Now, here's where you might want to have a mat for yourself, okay? So think about that bird dipper. We'll go ahead, hinge at the hips. We'll come down. We're putting our rear end back like we're sitting down into a chair, and then we'll come on out nice and easy, just like so, okay? And notice that I've got my wrists and my elbows and my shoulders all aligned with each other. I want to keep my shoulders up and back. I don't want to round the shoulders. I want to keep my tummy and tush nice and tight. So we're going to run in place or walk in place. Those of you that are less conditioned, I would suggest walking in place like we're doing. Again, we want to do about 10 to 15 of these on each leg. If you want a little bit more spice, a little bit more cardio, you'll speed it up. And we'll do 5 more of these for each leg. 3, 2, and 1. And bring it on up, nice and easy. All right. Everybody, shoulders up and back. Let's go ahead and grab a little bit of water if you want to, because that's going to possibly make you a little on the thirsty side. Now, that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a walk along what Mr. Hearst called his Neptune Terrace. And we're going to go to the Neptune pool a little bit later, but that'll be next week. But the Neptune Terrace overlooks that beautiful iconic structure called the Neptune pool. Now, as the camera comes over here towards the right, you're going to see this young man here sitting on an eagle. Another Art Deco white marble statue by a German artist made during the 1920s. This is called Ganymede on an eagle. Now, Ganymede was a mythological figure, and he was brought up to Mount Olympus, the heavens of the Greek gods, by Zeus. And Zeus is represented here as an eagle. And what Ganymede became was the cupbearer of the gods. And Ganymede, you'll notice that his neck is flexed in a certain position. That's going to be the basis of our next exercise. So while you're still trying to grab your breath from those mountain climbers, we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of neck stretches. Now, if you've got that chair, like I said, you might want to go ahead and sit in this because we are going to be moving our neck about. And if you have any sort of dizziness or vertigo issues, you want to go ahead and sit down. Otherwise, you go ahead and stand. Again, shoulders up and back. And again, the feet nicely planted on the platform that you're standing, okay? And we're just simply going to go ahead and start with our eyes looking straight ahead. We bring the chin to the chest. Then we come back up after a couple of seconds and bring the head back. And then we come back to center. We'll take one ear to one shoulder. If you want to, you can take the same side hand and gently nudge over to the shoulder, bring it back. We'll go the other side. And back to center. Chin over one shoulder for the rotation, back to center and chin over that other shoulder. Now, if you would like a little bit more challenge, you can go ahead and simply do circles with your neck. So you'll bring the chin down and circle over to one shoulder, bring the head back, circle to the other shoulder, and then come back to the chest. And then you'll go back in the reverse direction. Now, this may create a little bit of dizziness for some of us. So this is a kind of an advanced modification of this exercise. So if you need to hold on to something or go ahead and sit down in the chair as you do this. All right, I'm going to do about 2 more head circles in each direction. There's one set and the second set. Good. All right, shake it on out, nice and easy. Now we're going to go ahead and focus on that same statue right there that you see. And as I mentioned, the eagle, that represents Zeus, the head of the gods of Mount Olympus. And he used his eagle flight to bring Ganymede to Mount Olympus. We are now going to imitate the eagle in flight, okay? So what I want you to do, once again, shoulders up and back, nice firm stance, hip width to shoulder width stance, tight tummy, tight tush. We're just gonna bring our arms out and just flap those wings a little bit like an eagle. Now, for those of you that want a little bit more, bring them down so they look like the letter L, and you'll bring the arms up and the arms back. I'm going to show you my profile here because what we want to make sure that we maintain is a nice straight forearm. We don't want to bring that wrist back or forward too much. Okay, so it's a nice shoulder stretch. Now, for those of you that want even a little bit more, make this more of a whole body type of exercise, I'm going to show you my profile. I'm going to come down into a bird dipper and do the same thing. Or if I want to go back to flapping my wings, I bring my arms out the side and I just simply flap my wings. Now notice that I stay in that hinge, that dip that we saw with the bird dipper. Okay, and you're going to start to feel a little bit of fatigue running through your shoulders, down your triceps and your biceps. So when you feel like you've had enough, just bring it on up and then shake those arms on out. All right. Mr. Hearst in his castle, which is 137 feet in the air, would build 2 towers, and in them, 2 towers worth of Carillon bells, 18 bells in each of those towers. As the camera comes on over and shows you those 2 towers, feel free to grab yourself some water if you need to. That's what I'm doing there. And these towers, probably along with the Neptune pool, probably the most iconic figures here architecturally with respect to the Hearst Castle. Now, the Belgian bells that you see there, those were built in the 1920s, late 1920s, and were installed in the early 1930s. And again, with the design of Julia Morgan, his architect. Now, those bells are actually electronically activated at 12 noon every day. And there's a clapper on the outside that electronically activates those. But I want you to imagine, if you will, that those bells are actually rung by somebody up there who's doing a bird dipper and ringing those bells by way of a rope, because that's going to be the base of our next exercise. As those bells are rung, if you get in your imagination, they go back and forth like a pendulum. And that, again, is going to be something we're going to do, but with our legs, okay, a little pendulum swing. Now, here's where you want to go ahead, grab something stable, maybe a table or a chair, and you're going to go ahead and bring your leg back and then up, just like so. Now, you'll notice my foot, and I'll show you a nice little profile. I've got my foot flexed the entire time, so I'm coming up with my toe and back with my heel. You want to do about 10 of these. For those of you that want more of a challenge, you can let go of your stable surface and do that. Or if you want to hold on that stable surface and go a little faster, you can do that too. All right, so we are bilateral beings, so we've got to do the other side. So coming over here, again, nice little pendulum swing, like we're ringing a bell in those bell towers, back and forth. Again, a little faster if you wish, a little more progression, or if you want to, work your balance and let go of your stable surface. Let's do about 3 more of these, 2 and 1. All right. Now, because you work those hips and those legs, you might feel a little bit of elevated respiration rate. So you need to go ahead and take a nice deep breath. You can sit out the next exercise we're going to do because we're going to continue with the leg swings. But this time we're going to bring our legs side to side, just like so. So instead of back and forth, we're going side to side. Now, you'll notice that my foot is also flexed. I'll show you my profile here. And I want to make sure that I'm leading with my heel, both coming out and coming in. And again, you'll want to do about 10 to 15 of these. For those of you that have good balance, you can let go of your chair or your stable surface. We'll do about 5 more of these, 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. A little bit of heart rate, a little bit of balance, all at the same time. Again, we're bilateral beings, so we have to do the other side. All right. I want to make sure I don't kick over my water bottle. So again, shoulders up and back. And again, flexing that foot, lead with the heel. Back and forth, back and forth. How about 5 more? 3 and 2 and 1. All right. Okay, we're gonna go take a walk, everybody. And we're gonna come over here to these tiled stairs, eventually leading ourselves up towards what's called Casa Del Monte. Now, that being said, these tiled stairs that you see here, Julia Morgan, Mr. Hearst architect, created most of the tiles that you see here. And this is the basis of our next exercise. Now, some of us may not feel comfortable getting on the stairs. They're called calf raises. So you can do this without actually being on stairs, but there's a deeper stretch if you do these on stairs. You want to hold on to a chair or a stable surface, you can. We're just going to go up and down on our toes, just like so. Now, from the stairs, I'm going to bring my back to you here. I'm going to hold on to a stable surface. You go up and then come down below the stair to get that nice deep stretch. Down, up, down, up, down. And you're going to feel a nice burn through your calves after about 5 to 10 of these. So that's what I would recommend, doing about 5 to 10 of these. We'll do about 3 more, 2 more, 1 more. There it is. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and take a walk up these stairs towards Casa Del Monte. And we're going to move nice and slow so we can give ourselves a little bit of a rest, heart rate coming down, and enjoy the gardens that you see here through the camera. And we're going to come up to Casa Del Monte, the house of the mountain, one of those 3 cottages that Mr. Hearst had built in the 1920s with Julia Morgan. Beautiful sunny day up here at the San Simeon property. All right, as the camera comes in, we are at the front door of Casa Del Monte, and you're looking at another marble statue from the 20th century called the Wrestlers. And I want you to look at this young man's arm right here, the wrestler on the top. He's doing what's called a bicep curl. And that's going to be the foundation for our next exercise, the bicep curls. You can simply stand, if you want to, you can do these seated, and you just simply brace your arms, squeezing your fists together like so, or if you want to, bring a little bit more challenge. I've got my little handy weights here. You could do this with canned goods if you wanted to, or maybe a gallon or half gallons of water. And you want to do about 10 to 15 of those. Those of you that want more of a challenge than this, you can go ahead and do a little squat. So as you come down with your arms, you come down into a squat. Now, we did squats last week, so you want to make sure that your knee is not going beyond your toe, and it's almost like you're sitting down. We'll do a couple more of those. Good. All right. Our final exercise today, the gentleman that you see on the bottom here, this wrestler right here, he's extending his elbow and he's showing off his tricep. Well, the triceps are just opposite, oppose the biceps. So it's a really good exercise to end on. And you're just simply going to extend your elbows out, just like so. Again, squeezing your fists. You can do this also with weight. Make sure you keep your tummy nice and tight and your tush nice and tight. You could also go into a hip hinge and do these, just like we did with the bird dippers. And if you want to, you could do a little pulse. So I'm just going back and forth, but I'm really trying to squeeze my triceps. You want more challenge? Bring in those nice little weights and do the same thing. So extend, bend, and extend. We'll do 3 more, 2 more, 1 more. All right, shake it on out. Give yourself a little congratulations there. Give yourself a little rest, because we're now going to go ahead and finish up the last 20 minutes with our friend Mariana on the coast down in Morro Bay. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next Thursday.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Laura, for those exercises up at Hearst Castle. I am currently at Morro Bay State Park campground. Unfortunately, it is still closed to the public. I am wearing my mask because just want to protect myself and others. I'm going to give you a quick smile because there's no one around me, so you have an idea of what I look like. And keep it on. We're going to be doing some active exercises to just get some cardio in. And then we're also going to be doing some exercises that you might want to mat, just like Laura's activities. So I have a mat that's, you can kind of see right there, but so I have a mat prepared. Before we get started, I just want to give you a quick second to just rest in between, and then I'm just going to describe the weather because it's so nice here in Morro Bay, and give you a quick scan of some of the plants that you might see here. So a lot of the plants that you would see on your screen right now are coyote brush, and right behind me is a very large eucalyptus tree. Eucalyptus is non-native. That means that it's not from California. This magnificent plant is actually from Australia, right behind me. Big tree. Gonna scan it up. Whoa. But they were planted here, and they're growing pretty large. Turn it back towards me. So hopefully you got a few breaths in. I'm gonna go ahead and step back. There we go. Sometimes the lighting makes it hard to see if you can actually see me. Okay, yeah. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Woo! I kind of did an extra one there. And I keep going. Now I'm just gonna do some high knees just to get my blood flowing even more. Do this for a few seconds. This is my getting ready to start my morning. High up. Do it for like maybe 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Whew. Need a second to breathe there. And now we're gonna do some jumping like a bobcat. Maybe you were with me about a few weeks ago when we did this, but bobcats can jump up to 6 feet tall. So to do that, we're gonna crouch down, and then we're gonna jump straight up. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do 5 more. I'm gonna quickly get a breath. Ooh, it's kind of going tight on my ear. Okay, let's do 5 more. 1, 2. 1 more. Woo! All right, let's shake it out. Take a breath. I'm gonna have a sip of water. Just shake out your legs and arms. Okay. And then we're gonna go on the ground. We're gonna do some ab workouts. Okay, I think you can see me. Yeah, I'm gonna move the camera a little bit. Okay. There we go. All right, to do this, we're gonna dig dirt up. Sounds kind of funny, but some of you might know this exercise as ice cream scoops. I used to do this when I had track practice, but basically I'm lying flat on the ground, and then I'm gonna put my arms like right by my side, And then I'm going, or you could actually put your hands underneath your bottom, tuck it in, and then we're gonna scoop up dirt, kind of like a mole would. So do that. We're gonna lift our legs and scoop, and then put our knees towards our chest, and then straighten our legs out again without touching the ground. And then scoop again. Knees get close to us, then they extend above the air, and then scoop. A mole looks like a rodent, maybe like a mouse, but it is not. It's actually an insectivore. That means it likes to eat insects. Oh, my mic is falling. We're gonna do about 5 more. If I can get my mic to stay on my ear. Okay, if not, we'll do this one-handed. Do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you can take some time to rest, a few moments. What I was saying was that moles look like rodents, but they're actually not. They are insectivores, so they like to eat insects, and they are found underground. They have very poor eyesight. That makes sense, right? If they're underground, it's very dark, light is limited, so they need to rely on touch rather than their eyesight. They almost look like they don't even have eyes. They're very small, and they don't really work very well. Okay, we got a little bit of rest. Now we're gonna do another type of ab workout, but also some cardio. Like, my heart is definitely pumping. And for this, we're actually just going to kind of get up really quick. So for this, I'm just gonna say we're gonna be like sea otters, using our webbed hind feet to swim through the water. And I'm gonna lay down flat, almost, with my shoulders above the ground. And I'm gonna also put my hands underneath my bottom, and I'm gonna kick up my feet and kind of swim like this. We'll do it for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then rest. We have sea otters here in Morro Bay. I really like sea otters. They are a type of marine mammal. Let's do it again for 5 seconds. So remember, keep your shoulders above the ground. You can look at your toes. Makes it a little bit easier. All right, here we go. Lift up and start kicking. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. So a moment ago, I just said sea otters are a marine mammal. What does that mean? Well, a marine mammal, let's break it up together. Marine means the ocean, and mammal is a warm-blooded animal. If you take your finger and you point it to yourself, you are a mammal. You're warm-blooded, and we also have a backbone. Our spine is considered a backbone. All right, one more time. 5 seconds. Okay, lift up. 3, 2, 1, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Whew. But yeah, we have about 40 individuals that call Morro Bay home. Really exciting. And sometimes you might even be able to see a baby sea otter known as a pup. They don't have a specific season like other animals. They just kind of can have them all year round. All right, let's get up. Adjust my mask. We're also gonna do some twists, another type of ab workout. And I'm gonna relate this just to snakes, because snakes like to twist around. We have plenty of snakes here. And to do this activity, I'm gonna stand up, or not stand up, but just sit up. And I'm gonna put my hands together, and then I'm also gonna lift my legs and cross them. So they're gonna be in the air, crossed. And then I'm just gonna turn turn to my right at the moment for a second, and then I go in the middle for a second, and then I turn to the opposite side. And one cycle, we'll just say if you start to the right and you end to the right, that's 1. So we're gonna do 5 right now. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's rest. We have all kinds of snakes here. We have gopher snakes, king snakes. We have rattlesnakes. Rattlesnakes are pretty cool. At least I think they are. They really do help keep their environment, their habitat healthy. I know they kind of seem scary, but they're really cool. They really are. All right, let's go ahead and do another 5. Lift up. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and rest. Snakes are scared of humans. They're probably more scared of us than we are of them. So maybe if you come across one, maybe hiking or walking on a trail, they're going to be spooked out. But we also want to be respectful of their space. So keeping to the trails will actually help you or prevent you from running into a snake. All right, let's do another set. Get up and go. 1. Oh wait, I guess this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and rest. That was awesome. Nice. Okay, so we did those twists. And now to kind of wrap it up, let's just do a couple of stretches. Yeah. I'm gonna stretch out my hamstrings by sitting up straight, pointing my toes to the sky, and then using my hands to reach towards them. Last week, I kind of called this closing a clam or closing a muscle. Our body is the shell, and we are closed up. Just kind of take some time to breathe. Muscles are filter feeders. They help keep the ocean clean by filtering out some of those pollutants as well. And also they're a food source to a lot of other animals like birds, our sea otters, even people. People like to eat mussels. Okay. Seems good. And then we're just gonna open up the clam or mussel, kind of relax. I'm gonna do it again. Close the clam one more time. Maybe you can go a little bit farther, maybe reach your toes. And if you can't reach your toes, that is perfectly fine. You can aim for your ankles, or you can lift up your knees just a little. Helps out. You can't reach your toes, just trying to get that stretch. Do it for about 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Shake that out. Feeling already much more stretched. Then I'm going to do the butterfly. I love it. I think this is one of my favorite stretches. But basically trying to sit up straight, put your feet in together. You can hold your toes, just kind of stretch out your inner legs. You can, even if you want, you can push down a little bit. But this is a good stretch for me, just like this. I definitely need to do more stretching. We have a lot of butterflies around here. Maybe one specifically that I think many of you might know are monarchs. Monarchs are pretty cool. They're bright orange. They have some cool black design on them. Morro Bay is a resting spot, but you can also see a lot of them down in Pismo. resting on the trees, taking a break from their very long migration. We'll do 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And to end off, I like to stretch my back. So there's a lot of mosquitoes out. Okay. So for this one, it's also a type of yoga pose, cat and cow. That's how I learned it. Maybe you learned it some other way. But for cat, we're just going to, we're on our knees, we're on our hands, we're making sure that our hands are directly below our shoulders. And then we're going to push our back out like this, like a scaredy cat. In Halloween, you might be able to see a lot of like black cats with this pose. And then putting your back towards the ground to create an arch, a lower arch to represent a cow. And let's go back up to a cat position. And back down to a cow. I think we should do it one more time. All right, let's get to a cat. And then a cow. Okay. Well, that's really all I have for today's exercises down the coast. Get closer up to you. I'm so happy that I got to be here with you all for another Castle to Coast Junior Ranger program. We're offering these every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, starting at 10 a.m. We started a little bit late today, but that's okay. That just happens with technology and online programs. Sometimes we just have trouble, but we are gonna do our best to get to you on the times that we state. So hopefully we'll see each other next week. We have some pretty cool programs lined up, and we'll be posting a schedule hopefully later this week, so that way you can write it down on your calendar what type of topics you want to learn about. And if you're interested in anything particularly that you want to explore more of, please feel free to write it in the comment section. Let us know what you want. But for now, have a lovely rest of your day, and remember to wear your mask when you're outside and practice social and physical distancing and wash your hands frequently. We are doing our best. We're all trying to do our best to flatten the curve, and hopefully, eventually, we can all get together face to face one day. All right, that's all I have. So see you later.